Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Whew. That's what I call using the force. Oh, hello there. I didn't see you. Click in. I was just watching Star Wars on my Kenner movie viewer. That's right. This is how I used to have to watch Star Wars, back before the internet, before DVDs, back before everybody had a VCR. Yep, the dark ages. You young kids, you millennials, probably don't remember a time when you couldn't just watch something that was at the touch of your fingertips. Well, we're going to look back at how us fans watched Star Wars in between each movie, back before we could get it on video. Welcome back to the Junk Room, everybody. It's me, the Junkman, coming back at you. Oh, coming back at you. Sorry about that. Coming back at you with a whole new video. So what are we going to talk about today? Well, I just told you in the tease. We're going to talk about how fans watch Star Wars back before VHS, Blu-rays, streaming services, and all that. We had to keep Star Wars on the mind. Now, there was one way I watched Star Wars that was more in my mind. That was the Story of Star Wars album. Love this album. Listen to it all the time and play Star Wars in my head. But you needed something to see also. Couldn't just listen to Star Wars. So there was a lot of different ways to watch Star Wars in your house. And we're going to tell you about those ways. But as always, if you want to support this channel, head over to patreon.com. Link's right up there. It's also in the description below. Become a Patreon supporter. Help the channel out and get some cool exclusive content. And as always, head over to thatjunkman.com and buy a cool t-shirt like this one right here. And if that's not cool, then you're not cool. Now, let's talk about how we used to watch Star Wars back before you could just watch it on your phone. Can you imagine that? People can watch Star Wars on their phone. If you told me back in 1979 that as an adult I would be able to watch Star Wars on my telephone, I would think you were a damn fool. Now, we all know about the toys, but we're going to look at something else first. This was more aimed for adults or maybe for the family. It wasn't a kid toy where you could watch Star Wars. We're talking about the Super 8 films of Star Wars. I had one of these and I remember watching it as much as I could with my brother. We would go into the basement and set up the screen and the projector. That wasn't until my dad would come down there and scream at us and tell us how we're going to break his film projector or tear up the screen. So we didn't get to watch as much as we wanted to, but there was no one home. We would pull out the film projector and the screen and watch Star Wars in our basement. And I can still smell that film projector in my mind. It's weird how you can't forget a scent. And the sound of that clicking, that ticking, that the film running through the film reel. It brings back a lot of memories, and it brings back watching Star Wars in my basement with my brother. Now, there were a couple of different releases, ranging from 4 minutes to 8 minutes to a long 17-minute cut of Star Wars. You could get it in black and white with no sound, a no sound color version, or a color one with sound. Now, our film projector didn't do sound, so sadly didn't get to hear Star Wars when I watched it in my basement, but I got to see it, and that was just as fun to me. But let's look at these films.
Do what you feel is right, of course.
This is not gonna work. Why didn't you say so before? I did say so before.
Now, for a lot of kids that were into Star Wars, they didn't watch it on film. They didn't have the Super 8s. Most kids watched Star Wars in their bedroom thanks to the Kenner movie viewer. This was a Kenner toy that wasn't just exclusive to Star Wars. They did other films. There's even an Alien one. That's right, the movie Alien has a movie viewer. An R-rated movie aimed for kids to watch in their bedroom alone. They did other things also, but my first one was the Star Wars one. As you can see here, it even has a Star Wars logo on it. Now we'll pop this out and show you what the cartridge looks like. That's the cartridge. It has the name. This one we're looking at here is May the Force Be With You. And this is the one I like the best because it's kind of like the mini movie. It's kind of like shows you most of the movie. Well, not really the most of the movie. It's about a minute long, if that. But you get the idea. And it was slipped right in here. I always get the email when I'm on the computer. I'm trying to make a video. Anyway, you put them, as you can see here, the cartridge will slide right into it right there. Just pops right in, easy, pops in really good right there. Thing doesn't go anywhere. It's best to have light shining into this hole right here, so if you can get under the light, it looks better. Right here on the side, you have a little focus. Up and down will focus the viewer. And you just close one eye and put your others at the hole and turn this crank right here. And I don't know if you can hear that, but that's the film being moved around inside the cartridge. And what I liked about this is, the faster you moved it, the faster the picture would go. So you could watch Star Wars in fast motion, but also like that you could run it backwards. You could watch Star Wars backwards. So if you ever got tired of just watching Star Wars the normal way, you could watch it some other ways. Backwards. Oh, really fast. You could even crank it really slow and watch Star Wars in slow motion, especially if it's an action scene. Ooh. Ah. Ooh. You get 'em, Chewie. Oh, I love this thing. This kept my Star Wars fever alive, at least till The Empire Strikes Back. Now, if you loved The Empire Strikes Back and you loved your movie viewer, sadly, you couldn't watch The Empire Strikes Back on here because they canceled the line before they released The Empire Strikes Back. Although from this Kenner catalog, you can see that they did have plans to release a Empire Strikes Back movie viewer with cartridge. That would have been kind of neat to have. Now, let's say you wanted to watch Star Wars at home, but you didn't have the Kenner movie viewer or Super 8 film. Could you still watch Star Wars at your house? Well, you could. Kinda. It was more like a cartoon slideshow. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about the Kenner Give a Show. This was another Kenner toy that was around long before Star Wars. They did all kinds of other ones, mostly from cartoons. But here, they gave us Star Wars Give a Show. It came with 16 strips, making up 112 color slides. I guess it was cheaper to draw a cartoon of the movie scene than use real film cell. Now this one did get an Empire Strikes Back release. Sadly, by the time of the release of Empire Strikes Back, Kenner stopped doing Give a Show, at least for Star Wars. There were no Kenner movie viewers. So fans of Return of the Jedi really had a hard time watching Return of the Jedi in their home. The movie viewer ended after Star Wars, and the Give a Show ended after Empire Strikes Back, at least for Star Wars. So kids were kind of left out trying to watch Return of the Jedi at home, although this is about the time Star Wars was starting to hit cable TV, HBO, and VCRs were becoming more common. But if you were a fan of Return of the Jedi, you could get your fix kind of at home with the Give a Show, Wicked the Ewok Adventure. And if you wanted more Ewoks, don't worry, Kenner had you covered with another Give a Show. This was more of a best of, where it had clips from Superpowers, Care Bears, and you guessed it, the Ewoks. So you kind of got something Return of the Jedi related on a Give a Show, but it wasn't from the film itself. Well, that's a look at how kids got to watch Star Wars at their home before the days of VHS, Blu-ray, and the internet. We had to trust the good old movie viewer. And I kind of miss it. I kind of like the movie viewer. I wish they did more of it. I would have loved to have had an Indiana Jones movie viewer. That would have been awesome. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Be back very soon with a whole new video. As always, please subscribe to the channel. Click thumbs up so YouTube knows you're enjoying this video. And ring that bell so you'll know when I do upload another video. And in the comments below, let me know what you think about the movie viewer, Give a Show, or watching Star Wars in your home. Did you get to watch Star Wars at home? Well, until next time, we'll talk again.
Thank you, sir, for that unsolicited testimony.